Well, this morning, like it has been over the week, is pretty mild outside. We're seeing those temperatures right now into the 30s. Now we're starting to see some 40s like there in Superior. So overall, not too bad for a November morning. And we're going to be staying on the mild side as we go through today, but it's not going to look quite like the last couple days because we're going to be a little bit cooler. We're going to be into the mid to lower 40s in northern Minnesota. Once you get further south, northwest content, upper 40s and into the low 50s. So a little bit cooler, still on the mild side for November, even early November. But as we get into the overnight hours, it's going to be a little bit cooler. This is actually going to be pretty seasonal with those lows. Lava's dipping into the 20s, some spots potentially dipping into the teens if we stay clear enough from the clouds and calm with those winds. And then as we start to head into our Thursday, notice the temperatures a little bit more on the decline now. This might get us a little bit closer to seasonal as we're going to start seeing maybe some upper 30s sneak their way in, especially in northern Minnesota. But it looks like lava is going to be into the 40s across the Northland. Part of the reason it's going to help is because we're going to have those northwest winds. This is what really is going to cool us down for today behind that cold front. It's going to be pretty blustery too, especially as you go along the North Shore. We can see some winds getting up to 30 miles per hour at times. Same for the UP. Rest of us not quite as strong, but still going to be pretty breezy out of the northwest before it calms down overnight, allowing for more of that effective cooling in the overnight hours. And then as we look at our forecast radar going forward for today, notice that we're going to have sunshine. So that's part of the reason why we're not dropping down too much behind this cold front. That sun's going to help warm us up a little bit more, though we will still have a little bit cloud cover in northern Minnesota, parts of the UP, and we can see some isolated showers within those, but not too much disruption. And even in those areas, we expect there to still be quite a bit of sunshine for today. But that's not going to be the case. Pretty active weather patterns, so we're seeing a lot of changes occurring through the week. And if you look at here into the Pacific, we have this system right now. It's bringing an atmospheric river for the West Coast, so we're going to see some pretty good rainfall there, possibly some flash flooding. But this disturbance is going to start passing through the Rockies, and that's going to allow for another system to make its way here to the Northland. We're going to start seeing it tomorrow. We can actually see some light showers as early as tomorrow morning in the form of some rain and maybe some snow because of those cooler temperatures. It won't be heavy, and any snow we do see would be quite light, including with that rain. But there is possibly some showers tomorrow morning. But the chances really pick up mostly as we start to head into those evening hours. This is where we have the chance for more showers to make their way through, mostly rain, because even though we're cooling, we're not cooling enough for us to really see much snow or even much of a wintry mix, outside some areas in far northern Minnesota once you start heading into the overnight hours. But this system, the big thing is really going to do is really impact our temperature outlook going forward, because even though it's not going to bring a ton of precipitation, it's going to bring some needed precipitation. We'll always need some with the drought condition we're in. But look at the temperatures going forward. This system is going to have a cold front that's really going to drag down some really cold air out of Canada and push it into the heart of the United States. And that includes here in the Northland. It is going to come along some blustery winds. Look at Friday. Not very strong, but northerly winds gusting up to 20 miles per hour or more, especially around Lake Superior. And then by the time we start getting to Sunday, another cold front going to bring even stronger winds out of the northwest, gusting up to 30 miles per hour, possibly even more. So this is really going to be just dragging down that cooler air out of Canada. And in fact, we look at the temperatures now. By the time we get to Friday, we're going to be pretty seasonal in northwest Wisconsin, lower 40s, a little bit cooler into northern Minnesota. This is where we're starting to see those 30s make their way on in, possibly some spots highs staying even around freezing. But by the time we get to Saturday, especially Sunday, this is where we're really going to see those chilly temperatures settle on in. Most of us are going to be in the lower 30s. Actually, let's just say by Sunday, most of us are going to be around freezing. And some of us, or I should even say a good portion of us, especially in northern Minnesota, could be staying below freezing through the entire day on either Saturday or Sunday, maybe both days. It is really going to be chilly outside. That puts us around 10 degrees below the seasonal average. So I want to consider a very frigid day, even for early November. But the fact that we've been so mild up to this point this fall means it is going to feel quite cold. And if you look at those low temperatures, we're also going to be quite a bit below the seasonal average. Through the weekend, we could be getting up in the morning to temperatures in the teens for many of us. Some more mild spots staying in the low 20s, but there is a potential a few cold spots could get into the single digits. A little bit too far out now to see if that's possible, but if we do have the high pressure system move in, if we have enough clearing overnight, calm winds, that could allow for some real effective cooling overnight. And even though that says it's going to be moving out, continue to see some shower chances. Here's on Friday, we can see some and more as we start to head head into Saturday and Sunday. And when it comes to snow, it's not going to be much, maybe a dusting here and there. But if you are along the South Shore in those higher elevation areas, well, lake enhancement might bring even up to an inch or more of snow accumulation to you guys. Something to keep an eye on. So we might see a decent amount of snow for this time of year, but hopefully we do. I don't know. As I get in the winter, I get really excited, not just for the colder temperature, but for that snowfall as well. But if you're more fans of mild side of fall, well, today's your day. It's going to be sunny, still staying pretty mild with highs in the 40s, low 50s before we start to cool down heading towards the weekend.